Well, happy Friday, everyone. Half a day. This is Becky Tovis with Crafty Chamarita. And as always, I am so appreciative of you stopping by, whether you're watching me live or you're catching me on the replay. So today's video is going to be focusing on the swap card that I made for our teen swap. We just did our swap yesterday, and I had a lot of inquiries as to how I made the card. And I was telling everybody, you have to watch my live because I had already planned to show everybody what I was going to do. I was going to show everyone my swap card. So I hope that it inspires you and you might want to try it. So this is actually an old technique. I've used it before. But I'll explain my thought processes as I go through it. But before I get to showing you the card, I just want to remind everyone that we have a catalog open house that's coming up this Saturday, May the 25th, from 2 to 5 p.m. at the Sinahanya Mayor's Office Complex. It's quite a big building, so when you drive up, it's right across Sinahanya Church. So when you drive up and you're looking at the complex, it's on the far right. So we'll have signs there to direct your way. We've used it before, so those of you who have gone to an open house up there, you kind of know the general area, right? All right, so I hope you join us. It's going to be $20. We'll be making 3 projects, and if you register by, I think the deadline we gave was today. If you register by today, then you will get another free gift, and that's going to be the new In Colors, a cardstock with the designer series paper. Because with the new annual catalog comes 5 new In Colors. So that's what I'm going to be working with today predominantly, so that you guys can see what the In Colors are. So I hope you join us. So this is our little flyer here. Let me just turn that on so I can see what's going on here. And this is our little flyer. So as I mentioned, it's May the 25th from 2 to 5 p.m. And it's being put together by Sandra Lowe and myself. So I hope you can join us. We always have such a great time. We really do. So contact me. That's all you need to do to register. Okay, so without further ado, let me go ahead and explain what I'm going to be talking about today. So I'm going to be working with 2 different stamp sets. So one of them is called the Leaf Collection, and the other one is called Unbounded Love. I am so sorry. When with the light, there's such a glare. So I'm just going to cover it temporarily just so that you don't see the reflection off of the stamp set. So let me kind of explain my thought processes. So the Leaf Collection was actually a stamp set that I got for free when I attended on stage. So when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do for my swap, I knew I wanted to focus on the stamp set, and I knew I wanted to do the watercolor technique. So that's how I started the process. And I knew that we had to use one of the ink colors because that was the only requirement that we had for our swap, so that the base would be one of the new ink colors. So the colors I'm going to be playing around with today are not the colors I use for my swap, because I just wanted to change it up a little bit, but I will show you the card that I eventually made. Okay. All right. So what I did first of all, of course, is I had to mount my stamp. So you're going to have to use the biggest block for this because it's a pretty big stamp. All right. And you're also going to need watercolor paper. So let me go ahead and move this out of the way because I'm going to need my space. So let me first tell you that I don't have the re-inkers for the new ink colors. When I did my pre-order, the re-inkers were not available to us to pre-order. And since the catalog launch, I've been so busy preparing for my son and his family's visit that I haven't had a chance to put my order in. So it's definitely in my order now. So if you're like me and you know you want to use a particular color, but you don't have the re-inker, then don't fret because you can still use it. So the 2 colors that I'm going to be working with are, for today, even though they don't match for leaves, but it's okay. When you're creating, you can take liberties, right? And I'm going to be using Peach Pie, and then I'm also going to be using the This one, the Lemon Lolly re-inker. So it's easier to work with it when you have the re-inker, but if you don't have it, you could still work without it, okay? So let me move this because I'm going to need the space, and I'm just going to put a paper here to hide the glare. This is watercolor paper, and I already cut it to the dimensions I'm going to need to work with. So this is 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, so I'm just going to take my peach pie and my pretty in pink. It doesn't matter which one you do, right? And I'm just going to put it on my glass mat. Love this glass mat. One of the benefits of using the glass mat is that you can put ink directly on the surface. And if you watch my previous lives, I did announce to you that this glass mat is going to be made available for purchase. I just don't know when. Stampin' Up! Hasn't announced that yet. Okay, and then I'm going to take my Lemon Lolly, and I'm just going to drop it in between. I don't know how this is going to turn out, so we'll see, right? Okay, and then I'm going to get my spritzer, and I'm going to make the surface wet. Now notice, because these are set apart, when I put my stamp on, I am just going to lightly rub it around just to mix up the colors, okay? So I'm just going to take it, and I'm going to lightly rub it just to make sure that I get coverage. So I'm just picking up the stamp set. I'm looking at it because I want to make sure that there's coverage. Okay. And then I'm just going to lay it on top of my watercolor paper. Now, because, you know, my wrists and my hands are kind of weak, what I typically do, since this is a large stamp, is I use my Chucky tool. My sister made this. She's so creative. Look at that. It's just a doorknob. I use this all the time when I'm working with my Stamparatus and when I'm using big stamp like this. And I hope I got coverage. There you go. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Okay, now since this is a little bit wet, and you know what, you guys? You can get a lot of mileage out of this. So I'm just going to keep inking it up. My yellow kind of got lost in the mix, so you're not gonna see a lot of that yellow in here. But you remember what I said, I'm just kind of playing around with the colors to see how they work out. And I don't like to waste, so I'm just going to keep doing this until I run out of ink. Okay. Now some areas look like they're getting a little bit dry, so I'm just going to re-ink it just a little bit because you need the water to make this technique work. Squish it around. And if you end up having a lot of liquid, that's okay. You can either leave it overnight to dry, or you can get your heat tool and you can dry it that way. I'm probably going to end up having to do this so that you could see the full effect of the card. Okay. See, it's getting a little bit lighter with each one. So that's probably the last that I can do. If you're doing this and you're making multiple cards and you want to make a lot, just keep putting your re-inkers on. If you're going to use the stamp pad, that I recommend that you clean the entire surface first so that you don't get cross-contamination with the colors. Okay, now that yes, this is a messy technique, but to me it's worth it because the colors that you get in the end are just so pretty. And you know what, with the glass mat, everything comes off. Okay, so typically what I do is I just use, you know, the baby wipe to get it all off. And then I go through it with the paper towel just to get everything, like, so my colors don't get cross-contaminated. All right, and then I'm going to take my heat tool. I'm trying to figure out where I put my tongs. There you go. I'm only going to do it for one, you know, while I'm doing my live, and then afterwards I'll go through and I'll dry everything else. Sorry, pardon the noise. See, the water's kind of moving a little bit, but that's okay. Whether water clumped, I think it just shows that it's the watercolor technique. It doesn't bother me at all. Isn't that pretty? So nice, right? You could see the peach pie, and then you could see the, forgot, what pink is that? This is called peach pie and pretty in pink. And then the inside, the middle part, I use lemon lolly. Oh, it's pretty wet. This was my first attempt. That's why it has a lot of water and color, because it is pretty juicy. I'm just going to do a quick one in the back. Okay. It looks like I got everything. Okay. And now I'm going to put it together. I already cut the card base. So the card base, sorry, I'm trying to cover the reflection because I can see it here. The card base is the peach pie. I know that I'm going to put it on like this. So let me go ahead and adhere it. It curls a little bit because of the heat, but that's okay. This is pretty thick paper, the watercolor paper. It's thicker than the cardstock. Okay. Just hold it down there for a second. Okay. There you go. And then I pre-cut the die pieces that I'm going to use. So in the Unbounded Love collection, it comes in a bundle. So you have all of these phrases here, and then you have all of these dies that are meant to accompany it. So it's really easy to stamp something or to die cut something and then stamp it inside. I just love that. I love the sentiments in this. Hope, love, faith. I think because of these three words, that's what made me buy this stamp set. And I wanted to do a display using this because I just love the sentiments on it. Okay, so I used the die that's in here. Let's see if I was smart enough to put it back. It's this die here. So I used this die, and then I cut out some of the flowers. So what I did is I actually die cut it twice. So I die cut it in peach pie, and then I die cut it in white because I wanted the inside to be white. So the border is peach pie, and then the inside is white. And I'm just going to stamp it with my peach pie. I hope it's dark enough. Or should I do it in the pink? You know what? Let me do it in the pink. It's called changing my mind on the fly, right? Hopefully it'll turn out. I'm gonna get my cushion. When it's photopolymer, I know for many people they can stamp it without the without the matte, but it just works better for me with the matte. And I'm just doing just for you. Oh, pretty. So that way I can use the card for any purpose, right? Not one particular purpose. Okay. Now I'm going to, let me see if I can do this at one time. I'm going to put the glue here, and then I'm going to try to put the glue in the border around the parts that are a little bit thicker. Now originally I had intended to just put the circle piece first and then put this one next, but it was kind of sticking together already, so I'll go with that plan. I can't put it on dimensionals because of the border. It's very thin. Just for you. There you go. Oh man, I said I was going to put these in first, and because I already die cut them. Oh, very good. So, and I can't stick them underneath. It's okay. Maybe I'll put them on the inside or put them somewhere else, but it's okay. It looks pretty just the way it is. Right. Hi, Tree. Thanks for watching. What do you guys think? Pretty, right? I just love the colors. Yep. I just wanted to use the brighter in colors because they're just so bold and so happy, right? So this is the card that I made here during the live, and let me show you the other cards. This is first, you know what? Let me show you my swap card. I said I was going to take it out, and with everything going on, I didn't get a chance to do that. Oops, the envelope broke. So this is the card I made, and for this card, I used these two colors, Shy Shamrock, Summer Splash, and I used the Lemon Lolly in the middle. You can't really see it because it got absorbed into the other dominant colors. And then I just stamped a leaf on the inside. Okay. Faith is being sure of what we cannot see. And then I use the Shy Shamrock ribbon, and then also the embellishments. Okay. This also used the same back, but instead of putting a ribbon there, I used vellum to cover it. I just like the effect. Pretty, right? And this is the other one I did with the same theme, you know, same as my swap. The only thing that is missing here is the embellishments. And just to let you know, I used vellum on the back, and I used my blender brush to give it a little bit of color, because if I just use the blender without the blender brush, I just use the vellum, it's hard to see. Use the dragon's breath technique to lift up slightly. Oh yeah, I think it's too late for that though. It's okay, I'll just use that piece on something else. So when I first started doing my swap, let me show you what I did. I actually used these colors here. I used garden green, I used lemon lolly twist, and then I used the yellow one, lemon lolly. Oh, sorry, I get them mixed up. Lemon lime twist and then the lemon lolly. So look at everything that I made. And then I went back to see how many cards I need to make for our swap. And I forgot that the only requirement is we use the in color as the base. And this one doesn't use it. But that's okay, because that just means that these are ready to go for other cards. So that's what this one is. It was from the cards that the watercolor I first initially put together. And then I put have a blessed day, and then I just used twine around it. You can tell when you see it, there's, you know, slight discolorations. It's from the watercolor, but that's just what makes it prettier, I think. Okay, and here's the other one. This is part of the Unbounded Love. This die is part of it, and then I used a retired oval die to make the backing of it. Pretty, right? I just really like this technique, and I hope you do too. Try it out. This is a fun technique. It really is. And you can use whatever color you want. There's no right or wrong way to do it. It's whatever appeals to you. So when we're done, I'll post these cards so that you guys can see it. And I hope you give it a try, because this is really a fun technique. And those of you who were part of our swap yesterday and you were asking me how to make it, I hope that my video today shows you how. Right? Okay, that's it for today, everyone. I'll see you next week, Friday. And as a reminder about the open house on May the 25th, I hope you can join us. We always have so much fun. We make projects, we chit chat, we eat great food, and you get a chance to win lots of prizes. So, and you get free stuff in your goodie bag. And for those of you who don't already have a catalog, if you register for the catalog open house, a catalog will be in your bag. All right, have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you next time. Bye.